The Custom Joust has been full of huge hits, big jumps, and a lot of damage. It takes a lot to survive, and today 3 more teams are going to make their bid for the finals. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda and welcome to the Junkyard Joust. Here are the 10 teams that are competing in this, the last semifinal before the finals. Let's take a quick look at our competitors and their rankings. Ranked 25th, the Blood Bashers hung on in their qualifier and they're ready to bash. Ranked 11th, it's the Calypso Crusaders, got some heavy metal here. Ranked 7th is Cape Fear, actually the highest ranking team competing in this match tonight. Chris and Kat's Jurassic Attack. This dino-based team is ranked 19th. Ranked 28th, it's Delivery of Destruction from StarCorps Industries. Lots of heavies on this team. Ranked 21, it's Filet Minion, a team of minion vehicles. Ranked 10th, Saturday Morning has some sweet survival skills. Ranked 27th, it's Ransom's Randoms, who got here mostly because of rapid response. Ranked 8th is the Test Joust All-Stars. They've got some good variety on this team. And rounding out the list, ranked 22nd, 90s British Max. 10 teams, 50 cars, let's roll round 1. Here we go, starting off with Delivery of Destruction Liftgate, driven by Jenny Gearbox. It slots into position, and there's a bit of a ramp on the back of this truck. Let's see if that comes into play. Running order is at the top of the screen. Up first for Calypso Rust Bucket, sponsored by Sicken. Rust Bucket with that big chunk of metal on the front, still not quite able to get underneath the ramp, but doesn't go off of it. And now it's set up its own ramp. Cape Date has been pretty good with ramps, going down for Cape Fear. And of course I should know better than to say that, as Cape Date slams into the crates, can't make the recovery, and is out. First blood. Lizosaurus for the Jurassic Attack, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. Lizosaurus takes that ramp with style, flies into the crates, bounces off, flips over a couple of times, and plants it, hitting a 7 on the way there before making that recovery. Way to stick it. That's how you handle a ramp with style. Filet Minion starting off with Monster Dairy Delivery, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Monster Dairy Delivery mounts the back of Rust Bucket and just kind of parks there. Probably isn't going to be a great parking spot, as Blood Brother 1 coming down from the Blood Bashers, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. Blood Brother takes Filet Minion down and also takes itself out, although credits got to go to Rust Bucket for that takedown, and that was 2 eliminations on that hit. Rapid Response likes a ramp for Ransom's Random, sponsored by PriceX Private Parts. And that was a pretty rapid response time as the ambulance flips back over, makes the recovery happen, hits a height of 7, yet again that's 2 7s, and then makes a fantastic bouncing recovery. Good start for Ransom. Coming down now, TMNT Turtle Shell for Saturday Morning, sponsored by Hey Hey's Hatchback Hanger. Turtle Shell's also not bad with a ramp, as this one arcs all the way into the crates, bounces back and makes it happen. Also hits a 7. That seems to be the height that this particular jump likes to propel cars off to. And a great start for Saturday Morning. Starting off for the British Max, McDrag, sponsored by Judy Collins. Ooh, McDrag gets caught up down in between the safety area and the crates and flips over, nowhere to recover. Hits a 7 as well with the spoiler, and then can't quite pull off the recoveries we've seen from this car. That's going to be a tough loss for the British Max. First up for the Test Joust All-Stars, Bel Air, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wing. The Bel Air kind of stops halfway through the launch and gets hung up. Part of the strategy for the Test Joust All-Stars, avoiding those ramps. Will it get pushed off though? Oh yes it will. Hammer down, 171 grams for Delivery of Destruction, sponsored by StarCorps Industries. Hammered down, a massive hit on the Bel Air, but look at that, the Bel Air just flops off to the side, makes the recovery, and Hammer down just a bit too big and unwieldy, flips over and takes itself out. Rust Bucket gets another elimination. Brick Buggy, sponsored by G-Zeus. Brick Buggy hits the ramp. Wow, look at that. Brick Buggy's been good at recovering, but gets kind of caught down there at the end, down by the dragster, and that's becoming a bad place to try to make a recovery. Cape Fear had some good luck with Ooh the Claw, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. And Ooh the Claw manages to pull out a recovery, gets out of that place that has been taking cars down, and does a nice job of flipping it back over and staying in the match. Try Wreck a Bus gonna try to take down that ramp, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Try Wreck a Bus can't get underneath, drives up on top of Rust Bucket, also gets hung up. That looks precarious as all get out. Synchro up now, sponsored by Dr. Gonzo. Try Wreck a Bus actually successful with its ramp as Synchro goes way up into the air. I bet that's higher than 7. It is an 8. Synchro making it all the way up, plummeting down, and not able to pull out a recovery. That'll be a loss for the Filet Minions, and we'll see if Try Wreck a Bus can stay in position. Blood Brother 2 gonna take that ramp, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Blood Brother 2 bounces backwards off the ramp, goes straight up and kind of flips over, tumbles off the big rig, hits a height of 6 on the way there, and doesn't make the recovery in open field. And now both Blood Brothers have been eliminated right over in the same area. A Rickenstein Rod, sponsored by Bentley's Brakes and Bumpers. The Air Rickenstein Rod also landing in the same place as the Blood Brother, and it cannot make the recovery, almost tries to help Blood Bashers a little bit. Hits a 6, goes upside down, it's out. Spike, sponsored by Sloss Automotive. Spike hits that ramp, does a great job of making a recovery, hits a good height there, knocks out Try Wreck a Bus on the way before it hits a 7. Try Wreck a Bus tumbles over and will be eliminated. Now Rust Bucket's ramp is back in play. Great recovery. McRod, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. McRod hits the Rust Bucket ramp and doesn't get too much height on that one, and also doesn't make a recovery. Lands down by Synchro, upside down. That's going to be another loss for the British Max. Coming down now, Peter Pan, sponsored by Bentley's Brakes and Bumpers. Peter Pan goes underneath the Rust Bucket ramp, manages to get underneath. Nobody's been able to do that so far, but that car with the little metal things on the bottom manages to penetrate the armor and push it up. Savage Salvage, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal, driven by Skanky Pete. Savage Salvage, something broke there. What even was that? I can't tell. I think it was off Savage Salvage, but Rust Bucket is in trouble there. Gets taken out by the big hit. Peter Pan plunging underneath. Still can't tell where that piece came from. Ocean Blue going down for the Crusaders, sponsored by Sicken. Ocean Blue, some sweet revenge on Savage Salvage, takes it out as Rust Bucket sinks down into, well, it could become a recovery, you never know. Obedience School, 109-gram bus, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Pretty massive hit there to pushes Ocean Blue all the way off the track, but Ocean Blue makes a nice recovery, lands it. Peter Pan not so much, and some more chunks of stuff flying up into the air. The damage has begun. T-Rex the Egg Collector, 160 grams on this thing. T-Rex gets the feet down and manages to stay on the track, kind of pushes some cars around, but no damage there. But the stabilization legs do deploy. Jester, sponsored by Bentley's Brakes and Bumpers. Jester's collision with T-Rex causes it to bounce backwards, flipping over a couple of times, but not making the landing. No recovery after multiple flips, and it's out. Skibidi Blood Toilet, sponsored by Press X Private Parts. The toilet hits T-Rex tail, bounces back, goes curbside, wobbles around a little bit. Time a Taxi, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. The ramps have been taken out of commission, and Time a Taxi slots in. The line is growing. Dinobot Slag, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Dinobot Slag gets a little action, no eliminations, but it breaks up a couple of cars, and they are going to go off the track. Blood Toilet's kind of wedged into T-Rex. McLam, sponsored by Judy Collins. Mick Lamb mixes things up and takes itself out in the process. Also takes out the blood toilet. That's another loss for Blood Bashers. Slag and Time Taxi survive. Jake the Car, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Jake sets up the ramp successfully and gets a little takedown as a bonus. Time Taxi thrown off the track and eliminated. Look at that though, the toilet it has recovered. First vehicle to take the ramp is a big one, Crunch Time, driven by Large Marge. Crunch Time does take the ramp and wow, hurdles all the way down to the crates, hits a 6 with its rear end, and then cannot make the recovery. Massive slam into the ground, shaking grass everywhere. And now that ramp has been a little disturbed. Will it still work? Sunday Joyride, sponsored by Chome. Sunday Joyride not interested in the ramp, breaks it literally. That ramp has been destroyed. Jake the Car thrown almost off the track and loses a chunk. Deco Delivery, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Deco slams into the line and Jake the Car is pulverized, losing another piece, flipping completely upside down. It will be finished. AJ the Dino Hunter, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. AJ a little bounce back off of Deco Delivery, and that is tough. Cannot get under the back of that thing and forces itself off the track sideways. Not completely off though. Slick Back, sponsored by Regal Radio. Slick Back launches into Deco Delivery and somehow manages to keep it stable. Maybe set up a little bit of a ramp, we'll see. Blood Iron, sponsored by Jesus. Blood Iron does go off the back of Slicked Back. AJ tries in vain to make a recovery. Custom Volkswagen Beetle, sponsored by Chone. A nice takedown there by the Beetle on Slicked Back, tossing it over and off the track, and then it recovers, escaping as much as it can, but it's still on the track. Gonna take a hit from Dungeons and Dragon Blaster, sponsored by the Miskatonic Automotive Club. Dungeons and Dragon Blaster mixes things up. The Beetle recovers. Slick Back is done. And Dungeons plants its face into the ground and is in trouble. The Beetle makes it all the way over by Cookie, but Cookie protected by the Wrecker.
Oh boy, now I'm safe.
McWilliams, sponsored by Mr. Mark. Mick Williams goes up off Deco Delivery, not very high, kind of gets caught at the end, goes sideways, and it's gonna be out, and so is Dungeons and Dragon Blaster. Doesn't look like they're coming back from this. Never say never though, big hit coming up, 200 gram Channel 6, sponsored by Moo Cow Horse Farm. Channel 6 just locks it in, forces that line down even though it really doesn't want to. Just so heavy, and it somehow manages to stay locked in. Look at that line, and look at the destruction. Nice stable hit. Bumper Sandwich, sponsored by Sicken and driven by Snowbird. Bumper Sandwich, another big hit, and it finally forces T-Rex off the track and over sideways. The legs cannot prevent it. That's gonna be a loss for Jurassic Attack. Lifesaver for the Calypso Crusaders, sponsored by Sean's Toy Room. Lifesaver bounces off a Bumper Sandwich and keeps it locked in. Dungeons and Dinosaurs, sponsored by Tribble's Troublemakers. The line is way back down the track now, almost to the hill, and Dungeons and Dinosaurs can't get anywhere, goes curbside immediately. Another Dynamite, sponsored by Chris and Cat's Casa de Chaos. Dynamite tosses Dungeons and Dinosaurs off the track. It makes a great recovery off of that girder on the back of Sandwich. Dynamite locks it. Fished and Chipped, sponsored by Jesus. Fished and Chipped also locks it in. The line grows ever tighter and farther back. Bloodwater, sponsored by Farty Marty. Bloodwater also locks it in. We are at the base of the hill. Something is gonna break, and it's gonna be spectacular. 68 Dodge Dart gonna try to break that line, sponsored by Hey Hey's Hatchback Hanger. The Dodge Dart does it at least one car's worth anyway. A takedown of Bloodwater, and that's gonna be another loss for the Blood Bashers. They are in trouble right now. Darkwing Duck and Roll, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Darkwing tries to take out the Dodge Dart, but the Dodge Dart has better luck recovering. Lands it over by Dungeons and Dinosaurs. McNass, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. McNass tries to take down on Darkwing Duck and Roll, cannot do it. Duck and Roll too savvy for that. And we have just one car left in the round. It is Mock It Go, sponsored by Pick Your Sticker. Mock It Go does a great job of knocking cars around, and it results in a takedown. Fished and Chipped is out. McNass manages to keep it going. A whopping 26 eliminations in round one, and we are actually going to lose our first team. 26 eliminations is a record for Custom Joust. Regular Joust, the record is 31. Thanks everybody in Discord for helping me out with those stats. Here's a big line of all the cars that were eliminated in the round. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Filet Minion was wiped off the face of the junkyard, completely eliminated. Star Corps Industries lost 3 down to 2. Calypso lost 2 down to 3. Cape Fear looking good, only lost 1. And Jurassic Attack lost 3 down to 2. Bud Bashers lost 3 down to 2. Saturday Morning looking pretty good, only lost 1. Ransoms Randoms and Test Joust All-Stars both lost 2 down to 3. British Max were devastated, lost 4 down to just 1. Over half the field eliminated in round 1. Deco Delivery starting us off for Cape Fear, who had a great round. They're going to try to set up the bit of ramp they have on that vehicle. Saturday Morning also had a good round. Darkwing Duck and Roll does a little rolling around, but manages to stay on the track. Sunday Joyride tightens everything up, and we got 3 locked in. Rapid Response joins the line, but goes curbside. The Bel Air tussles with Rapid Response, can't quite get it off of the track, and goes curbside itself. Skibidi plays it pretty safe and locks in behind all these cars. The line is growing. Dynamite mixes it up. Still no eliminations, though we got a jumble forming. Liftgate plows into the pile and breaks it up all over the place, but somehow no eliminations on that hit. Lots of pieces flying around all over the place, but everybody's still in it. Last remaining car for the British Max does a great job of surviving the ramp on Liftgate. That was the very first car to take that ramp. Good recovery. The Max stay in the match. Over the Claw hits Liftgate's ramp and does a pretty good job of staying alive also. Unbelievably, still no eliminations in this round. Hits a height of 6 as it goes up and makes the recovery. This round looking to be a lot different than round 1 eliminations-wise. TMNT Turtle Shell also has great luck with that ramp. Hits into the crates, lands it on all 4 wheels, keeps it going, hits a 7, and plants it down perfection. No eliminations yet. Ocean Blue tries to get underneath the ramp and can't quite pull it off. Goes up on top, flips over sideways. If it stays like that, that'll be a loss for the Calypso Crusaders, and possibly the first elimination of the round. Custom Beetle goes up in the air, cannot make the recovery, ends up upside down, and it hits a 6 before it fails to make that recovery. That's going to be a loss for the randoms. Mock It Go hits the ramp, and wow, that is a bad landing for Mock It Go, flipping over upside down in the safety area where there's almost no chance of recovery. Hits a nice height there though, 8 on the way over, but just can't pull out that recovery. That is gonna be another loss for the All-Stars. Blood Iron takes the jump and manages to pull it out, unlike the past couple of cars. Flips over to a good recovery in safe area. Lizosaurus does basically the same thing. Actually smacks Blood Iron on the landing, but look at that flip at the last second to make the recovery. Hits a 7 and then makes that nice landing. Goes upside down, but manages at the last second to make it happen. Ooh, wow, what a wild hit from Bumper Sandwich. Actually doesn't go off of its teammate's jump. pushes it forward, forces it forward, and Calypso is gonna lose Sunday Joyride as a result of that squeeze. Darkwing Duck and Roll makes a great recovery though. Obedience School tightens up the line. Cape Fear and Delivery of Destruction, the only teams with cars on the track right now. Spike, very disobedient, slams into Obedience School, but can't get it off the track. Last remaining car for Calypso Crusaders, Lifesaver locks it in. The Dodge Dart tries to get underneath, but Lifesaver holds on for the moment. But not for long. Channel 6 plows into the line, forces it forward, and man, oh man, there was some stuff that happened on that hit. Lifesaver hits an 8. Spike gets eliminated on that hit. The Dodge Dart somehow survives it, and Liftgate starts to go sideways up in the front. It is tilting big time. Dungeons and Dinosaurs takes it nice and slow and stays locked in on the track. It's backing up again. Dinobot Slag gives it a gentle nudge and starts to push it off the track. But that was the final car of round 2. We're gonna have 5 eliminations in this round. That's gonna take us down to 19 cars. We're gonna do 1 measurement. Looks like Liftgate is okay. It didn't tip over far enough to be classified as sideways. Does not break the 45-degree angle. 5 eliminations it will be. Taking a look at the aftermath, Calypso hit hardest in this round. They are down to just Lifesaver. Everybody else here okay. And over here, Saturday Morning falls to 3, as does Ransom's Randoms and the Test Joust All-Stars. 90s British Max and Blood Bashers are steady. Right now, Cape Fear in the lead, but things can change quickly in the joust. We'll see what happens in the rest of this match next Sunday, and after that, back to the Junkyard Joust qualifiers. I could use a couple more patrons over at my Patreon. Check it out and see if any of the rewards are right for you. I appreciate the support. Thanks to all my current patrons for making this show possible. Cheers, everybody, and have a great week.